So we are going to start the panel discussion part of our evening. And we will, again, we're going to have a short introduction here, and then we're going to go back to questions. So we do have time for a lot more questions. So I am going to, I'm part of the panel. I'm going to relate my experience with heat pump environment. I have Ron McKee with me on my left, and Nav Tej on my right. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then I'll do a short introduction also.
Ron McKee, I'm a resident of Oakville. I'm an environmental engineer, retired, and a passionate environmental advocate. Was that a problem?
Just let the screen up.
We don't need to have the screen.
Okay.
All right. We need comic relief. We need comic relief. There you go.
I'll go through my little spiel right now. Okay, I have a prepared text. When I offered to help organize this seminar 2 months ago, I didn't know I was going to be a heat pump owner at the time of the event. But I had an aging gas furnace and air conditioner unit, and trying to be a good environmentalist, I had always intended to consider replacing it with an electric air source heat pump. And then, lo and behold, a month ago, the old furnace died. So I called Jim and Hart for some advice, and I also contacted one of the bigger residential and commercial HVAC contractors. This contractor, which I ended up using, admitted that heat pumps were not their primary business, but they had considerable experience. They were confident and eager to help me out, and their pricing seemed reasonable. Now, my situation is a little different from the examples you've seen from Jim, but I'm sure there are many in Halton region who have somewhat similar circumstances. I needed to heat just a small two-story addition to my house, and it wasn't well connected to the primary heating system. Anyone with a poorly heated sunroom or a nanny suite, or who has a garden suite or a garage to heat would be in a similar situation. Also, I decided to get an economical unit that provides heat as long as the outside temperature is not below minus 15 C, the type that Jim has been describing, as it rarely gets that cold in southeast Oakville. A cold climate system certified to work as low as minus 25 or 30, as Jim has described, I found out would be more than double the price. So what I got was called a two-headed ductless mini split. And the total installation price was $8,200 plus tax. But I had paid more than that for the original HVAC unit, and I can expect future operating costs to be lower, so the heat pump was not only the environmentally responsible thing to do, but a no-brainer cost saver as well. I did not qualify for any government rebates because it wasn't part of the primary heat source for my home. That's my story.
Thanks, Ron. Matt, do you want to show it?
My name is Matt. I'm an energy advisor. What we do is we audit houses, come in and look at your house, measure it, see how it's constructed. And based on that, we recommend what kind of upgrades or you can do. It's not only about heat pumps, it's the house works as a system. So you have the house envelope, which is your walls and your ceiling and your basement, and then you have the mechanicals. So it all works together. And what we do is we come in and audit, and then we license by Natural Resources Canada to save energy and make your houses more efficient. So we come in, we'll do a pre-audit. Based on that, we'll submit a report to you. Okay, these are the upgrades that are needed. Once you've done the upgrades, whether it's mechanical or on your envelope, putting in added insulation helps a lot. Doing simple things like air sealing, it probably costs like less than $100. Can also save significant amount of money. Well, not significant, but a reasonable amount of money, as well as it saves energy. And heat pumps. So far, I have only done 2 audits that have had heat pumps. One in Oakville, one in Toronto. So they are coming in, and people are. You guys are doing a great job educating people. And yeah, there is significant. So when we do the report, there's significant decrease when you install a heat pump. I'll be very happy to answer any questions. John?
Thanks, Nat. You've heard that Danielle and I designed and built a new house. It was a semi, so we built a 2-unit structure, and it was designed to passive house specifications. So that's a European standard. Actually originated in Saskatchewan, but that's a different story. And so the house is super insulated, super airtight, and uses passive solar heating as part of the overall system. And it, again, passive house, you basically, it's thermally broken, so the basement walls are insulated. The basement slab doesn't touch the walls. There's insulation underneath. It's like a cocoon of insulation. So the advantage, of course, when you build a new house and you have the intent of energy efficiency, you can build all these things into the building envelope, which is a challenge to address when you're doing retrofitting. We did this almost 10 years ago. We have a heat pump. We have an energy recovery ventilation system. We have an electric water heater. And as far as the heat pump, again, I learned recently that I should have been doing some maintenance. Have done absolutely no maintenance on this heat pump. It's operating just like it did on the first day. The one problem we had, and I, just as a tip, to both homeowners and installers, the one problem we had is we had a voltage, too high a voltage coming into the house from Oakville Hydro. We had voltage in over 250 volts, and it actually burned out one of the circuit boards on the heat pump unit, the outside heat pump unit. So that had to be replaced, and the Oakville Hydro actually stepped down the voltage. Anyway, if anybody's interested, we can talk a bit more about the crude methods that Oakville Hydro uses to do load balancing. So I advise, if you're installing a heat pump, check your have the installer check the voltage level to make sure you're not at risk of, or put a voltage regulator on. So my closing comment would be, this is the most comfortable house we've ever lived in. We've got a humidity that fluctuates between 45 and 55% year-round. No humidifier, no dehumidifier. There's no drafts, no cold spots, no hot spots. And yeah, the noise level is low. There's no whoosh of the furnace. It's a real pleasure. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. And if people have more questions, I'd be happy to entertain them.